Do you believe in the Padres? Will you keep the faith?
Keep the faith. It was only supposed to be a catchy marketing slogan, and it was. But it became a baseball reality, a way of life for the Padres and San Diego in the summer of 1996. And just how does one keep the faith? In many ways, my children. Take it from Friar Ted. It starts, as always, at the top, with ownership committed to putting a team on the field, as Larry Lucchino and John Moore said, worthy of the fans' support.
The fact that we have promoted one of our own is, I think, a point of some personal satisfaction, some organizational satisfaction. So if I can stop myself from talking, let me introduce Kevin Towers.
Lucchino, who has always been a scoutsman, tabs his top scout, Kevin Towers, as general manager on November 17th.
My roles have changed within this organization over the years, from player to pitching coach to scout, to scouting director, and now my ultimate challenge as a general manager of the San Diego Padres. The last time I was teamed with our manager, Bruce Bochy, was in 1989 as his pitching coach. We won a minor league title. Now our greatest challenge is to accomplish that same goal on a much higher level, bringing a championship team back to this great city of San Diego.
Towers wastes no time in shaping the club, building around such stars as Tony Gwynn, Ken Caminiti, Steve Finley, Joey Hamilton, Fernando Valenzuela, Andy Ashby, Trevor Hoffman, by signing proven major leaguers like right-hander Bob Tewksbury, who won 5 of his first 6 decisions and came up huge on the final day of the regular season. First baseman Wally Joyner, who added a much-needed left-handed bat and a left-hander's sense of humor to take the chemistry and make it just right. And, of course, Ricky Henderson. Ricky is both maddening and majestic. Fire on the bases, ice in clutch situations, never dull. Always interesting, and seemingly always on base, with a .410 on-base percentage.
You know, Ricky, I've been involved with the Padres a long time. I have never seen a team that gets along so well as you guys.
I think that's the only way you can win ball games or even win the World Series, that you got to be able to play with one another, have a lot of laugh, and trust one another. And this team got it all. You know, they trust one and respect one another, and I think nobody on the team is that superstar that everybody look to. Everybody feels that everybody's equal.
In the sunshine of Peoria, Arizona, faithful get a taste of what this season will become as the Padres set a club record with 20 spring training victories. The winning attitude forged by manager Bruce Bochy carries into the regular season as the Padres produced the most successful April in club history, going 17-10. On April 3, they move into first place in the NL West and remain top tenants for the next 75 days. And the highlights come fast and furious, starting with a 3-game sweep of the Astros in Houston. That's the first weekend of the season. Ironically, the season will end with another weekend sweep, this one in Los Angeles, to give the Padres a 91-71 record, the second-best mark in club history. That Houston series includes a 17-2 blowout in the final game. That sees reserves Craig Shipley, Brian Johnson, Mark Newfield, and Arky Sinfraco combined for 13 runs batted in. As that guy says...
1-1 pitch coming up. It's on the way to Gwynn. Ground ball, first base side. Down the line, base hit. Winning run. Here's Ricky Henderson. Padres win it 4-3.
He hits one to deep left, and well, Floyd at the wall leaps. Gone. Home run. The Padres win. Brian Johnson on a 1-0 pitch lines it over the left field wall. Floyd went back, leaped. He never had a play. It was way over his head, over the orange stripe, over the lower wall. And the Padres have won their second extra inning game on this homestand.
Strike 2 the count to Ken Caminiti. Bases loaded with 2 away. A 4-4 tie in the 13th inning. Foreman has the sign he wants. Lefty ready. And deal. Swung on and blasted to left field and deep. For way back. And gone. Grand slam home run. Ken Caminiti.
First, Tony developed a small bursa behind the tendon.
Before the season started, not too many people in San Diego knew what a bursa sac was, or cared for that matter. But as Tony Gwynn's foot problems came to light, we all got a lesson in podiatry and enduring physical pain for a common cause, as Gwynn, Caminiti, and other Padres did throughout the season. As long as Tony was walking, Tony was playing.
I was on the air when he got number 2,000. I thought it was only fair that Jerry be on the air during 2,500. Maybe he will.
Nope. Line to left center field. There is Tony Gwynn's hit number 2,500. By the end of May, the Padres are 5.5 games in front of the Dodgers, getting help from everyone, including the bench, where Scott Livingstone will lead the National League with 19 hits off the bench. Fans are beginning to pinch themselves. Is this really happening? Will this season truly be something special? Are the bad old days over?
I think it says what I've said all along. This team has a lot of character, a lot of heart.
As June arrives, Andy Ashby already has 7 wins, and the bullpen, paced by Hoffman, Doug Buckler, Tim Worrell, Sean Bergman, and Willie Blair, is rolling. The reliever's ERA by the end of the year will be the Major League's best at 3.30. Pitching is the strength of the new Padres. The orchard of young arms planted over the last few years begins to bear much fruit. Those arms, combined with solid defense, do make a difference.
The 1-0 pitch coming up. Drive into center field. That ball is caught by Finley. Oh, doctor, what a play by Steve Finley. That's one you can hang a star on. That might have saved a bases-clearing double. A diving one-jig grab of the ball hit into the gap in right center field.
The pitch. High fly ball into center field. Going to be trouble. Finley on the run, and makes the catch and slides and holds on. This game is over.
Up on third. Great stop by Caminetti. On his back, he threw the ball out at first base. Brilliant play. And you can hang a star on that, baby. That's as good as you'll ever see.
Both Caminetti and Finley will win their second Gold Gloves. Yes, defense and pitching blend so nicely with timely hitting. It is what baseball is all about. Joey Hamilton will win a career-high 15 games, while Fernando chalks up 13 victories, and Worrell, Ashby, and Scott Sanders each win 9 games. Sanders calls his season a miracle because the pain in his elbow disappears. The future of this team is being built 60 feet 6 inches from home plate. As great as the first 2 months are, it all comes to a crashing halt in June. In Philadelphia, Wally Joyner does his best imitation of the Liberty Bell, cracking his thumb while sliding into second base on the second day of the month. The Wally World Fan Club suffers along with their idol, each donning not only a bald spot, but a cast. Good humor is needed because the team loses 19 of its next 23 games. But one of those 4 wins is one we will never forget. Tony Gwynn, the most magnificent of Padre hitters, blasted a dramatic game-winning 3-run homer. It is Gwynn's first home run in 326 at-bats.
We talk a ball game that the last 3 innings have had you hanging on the edge of your seats. 4-3, Cardinals lead. Tony Gwynn, the batter. Runners at first and third. The pitch. Curveball hit high. Right field. Could be. That ball's on its way. It's out of here. Oh, doctor. Tony Gwynn brought his club back from the depths of defeat. Final score, San Diego 6, St. Louis 4.
That home run is huge because the Padres dropped 8 straight, their longest losing streak of the season. On June 15 in Chicago, the spell is broken when Steve Finley, showing his newfound power, hits a 2-run homer, his 10th of the year, to lift the Padres to a 2-1 victory.
He's ready, delivering at a high fly ball. That's hit well. Deep well into a deep right field. Into a wind. It's not going to hold it. It's going and gone. Home run, Finley.
Steve, let me ask you, can you describe the emotion when you hit a home run like that?
Well, I've never hit a game winner like that in the bottom of the ninth, so it's a great feeling running around the bases right there, knowing the game's over with.
The bleeding is stopped, only temporarily. This June swoon is upon us. Our faith is severely tested. After a 5-1 loss to the Braves in Atlanta on June 19, someone has an idea.
Paint the picture, Hank. Paint the picture, baby. Paint the picture. I honestly thought that, we'd have a couple hundred people out here, and actually the crowd has gotten larger and larger and larger. As you can hear, this is a Keep the Faith rally for the San Diego Padres. Matt Hudson's on stage with us.
I'm ready. Suit me up. Send me in. I can play center field.
Danny Jones. We got Kevin Kernan. We got Kurt Bauer.
Yeah. Here comes the bus.
Here comes the bus.
Here come the Padres.
Here come the Padres.
San Diego does know how to throw a party, and on that night it fires up a dandy.
Wally Joyner, get up there. You guys are great. You guys are great. I tell you what, you should have heard the guys on the bus when we turned the corner here. What an uplifting crowd you guys are.
There's a great center fielder, Steve Finley. It's great to see all you guys out here. It makes us feel great. There's Trevor Hoffman.
This game is not all about starting. My job is about finishing. Wait and see what happens later on.
Here's Tony Gwynn.
And seeing all these people here waiting for us to come back and supporting our ball club. I mean, this is what it's all about.
Just get Cameron.
This is the best feeling I've ever had in baseball. See you guys backing us up. It's a great feeling right now. You guys are outstanding. We won't let you down. Thank you.
Here's a great second baseman, Jody Reed.
You've shown us right now that we're not by ourselves, that you're with us. And through thick and thin, when this thing's over and we're standing out on that field, you're going to join us in the celebration, I promise you. That's a promise.
Lifted by the emotional outpouring of the Padre faithful, the club breaks out of its slump. Jody Reed beats the Cubs 2 days later with a 10th-inning single to snap a 5-game losing streak. Reborn, the Padres go on to sweep the Giants 4 straight in San Francisco for the first time in club history. It is a most special time. The 0-2 pitch to Gwynn, curveball, hit in the air pretty well into right field. But Wynn's got a hold of that ball. It is going back, and it is gone. Home run, Chris Gwynn.
Deck fires, and there's a drive to right center field. Way back. Is it far enough? Over the wall. How do you like that? Chris Gomez hits a home run. Padres 7, Giants 6, and there's another old doctor.
Shortstop Chris Gomez, who had been acquired only 9 days earlier from Detroit, along with catcher John Flaherty, tightens the defense, gives the Padres added punch. Flaherty goes on to deliver an amazing 27-game hitting streak, the second longest in club history, as the Padres roll through July and regain first place by half a game. 0-2 pitch, swinging a high fly ball, deep left center field. Sheffield's going back, he's watching, it is going and gone. Grand slam, home run, Big John. The race is on. The fun is just beginning.
It's an exciting day for the San Diego Padres. And I just wanted to announce that today the San Diego Padres acquired outfielder Greg Vaughn from the Milwaukee Brewers. Ecstatic about this. We feel that we have one of the top power hitters in the game. It's something that we sought early before the season started and came up short. But we feel adding Vaughn to this lineup, we might have 3 of the most fearsome guys with Caminiti, Joyner, and Vaughn.
On July 31, the day of the trade deadline, Towers sends Newfield, Ballone, and Flory to Milwaukee for slugger Greg Vaughn, who brings his bat and 31 home runs to San Diego. A fourth outfielder is desperately needed for the stretch drive because of Gwynn's uncertain status. Though Vaughn struggles, 10 of his 28 hits are home runs, giving him 41 for the season.
There goes one. Deep left field, Greg Vaughn, a grand slam home run. The fourth Padre home run of the night, and it's 13-0.
Vaughn's arrival also does something extremely special. It gives Ricky a spark.
Pitch coming up. Henderson waiting and the delivery. Hard drive. That could be another one. Is that number 69? It is number 69. 1-0 San Diego as Ricky Henderson, a leadoff home run, takes his record to 69. That's a world record, of course.
The great ones do find a way. And in the heat of August, we all find out just what Ken Caminiti is made of. Heart, soul, and a candy bar. In this month, when the dog days usually get the best of players, Caminiti discovers an inner strength. He hits .344 and establishes club records with 14 home runs and 38 runs batted in. Breaking ball, line to left, going back, and again it's going to be over his head, over Jeffrey's head. Caminiti cruising in with his 100th RBI. 2-0 Padres.
Here's the pitch on the way to Caminiti. High fly ball left field. That could be it. It's on its way to the wall, at the wall. It's out of here. 4-0 San Diego.
In August, he blasts more home runs than any switch hitter in National League history. 1-2 pitch delivered. Cameo. High towering ball. Dead center field. Going back is White. At the wall. It is going and gone. He's done it again with a 2-home-run game. How amazing is Caminiti? The goateed one averages a home run every 6.9 at-bats and an RBI every 2.5 at-bats. On his way to a Padre record, 40 home runs and 130 RBIs. The man is the essence of clutch, hitting .387 for the season with runners in scoring position. but he saves his best for an international audience in La Primera Serie, when the Padres make baseball history, hosting the first Major League regular season games in Mexico, taking 2 or 3 from the Mets. And they do it in style. Fernando Valenzuela makes a triumphant return to his homeland, becoming the first pitcher to win a regular season game in Mexico on August 16, 1996.
A standing ovation from a standing room only crowd. Listen. Fernando Valenzuela tips his cap and waves to the crowd as he enters the Padre dugout on the third base side. He completes his assignment here in the first regular Major League game in this stadium in this country, and he's going to get a win.
The most dominant sports figure ever in Mexican history.
2 days later,
I was under the weather. My stomach was in knots, and I couldn't sleep.
there is Cami Magic.
Came to the ballpark, and I said, there's no way I'm going to be able to play. And they laid me down, and they said, well, he's dehydrated. Let's give him some fluids. They shoved an IV in my arm and gave me 2 full bags. I swear, that second bag started going in, and my legs started shaking, and I started feeling real good. And I had 5 minutes to get dressed and get on the field before the first pitch.
The third baseman needs 2 IVs, eats his now famous Snickers bar, and hits home runs in his first 2 at-bats. The Padres go on to an 8-0 victory. Joey Hamilton, 7 scoreless innings and a career-high 10 strikeouts. Caminetti wins the first of his 2 straight National League Player of the Month awards, as the Padres win 18 of 28 games in August and increase their lead from half a game to 1 game over the pesky Dodgers. Unlike 1984, this is a race all the way, and it brings out the best in the Padres.
It's fun being in this situation, and we're using everybody. I mean, last night I threw a lot of pitchers out there, and I got guys I can throw out there to pinch run. It's what the game's about.
Taking a cue from Caminetti, his former Astro teammate Steve Finley has a monster September. The lefty has never hit more than 11 home runs in a season, but crushes 9 in the month. On September 10, he has quite a night against the Pirates down on Mission Valley. He joins the 2020 club with his 20th stolen base, breaks the club's single-season records for doubles with his 43rd, and oh yes, trailing 5-4 in the bottom of the ninth. 1 on, 2 outs, and an 0-2 count.
Here's the pitch. Hard drive right field. There it goes. It's on its way. Oh, Doctor! Padres win it. 6-5.
Drives a perfect pitch, a palm ball from Joe Baber over the right field wall to win the game. The next night, Bochy's boys win their 4th straight in comeback fashion.
Here's a 3-1 delivery. Gomez watches, waits, as right left center field. Could it drop? Will it drop? It does drop. Here comes Vaughn. Here's the race where Padres win it. Oh, Doctor! They did it again.
For the month, Finley hits .308, drives in 15 runs. Ken Caminetti is MVP, but Steve Finley is MVP too. For the year, Finley sets a club record with his 126 runs. To bookend with his 45 doubles, his 30 home runs. 18 put the Padres ahead or tied the score. Each and every hit is needed because the Dodgers will not lose. The team split a 4-game series at Jack Murphy Stadium. That sets the stage for the season's final frantic week. The Padres lose the last 2 regular season home games to the Rockies to fall 2.5 games behind the Dodgers with 3 to play.
Bottom line is to get in the playoffs. Period. That's not saying I'm backpedaling, because I still think they have a great chance to win the National League West. You got to win tomorrow night, guys. You have to win tomorrow night.
Once again, the Padres find a way. In the first game, Caminetti ties the score in the 8th with his 40th home run and wins it in the 10th.
3-0 pitch. Line down the left field side. That ball's got a chance to get in there. It will. It'll bounce against the short wall on 2 bounces. Here comes Steve Finley. Flannery, windmill, bringing him on home. They'll never get him. The throw, he scores. Stand it up. The Padres have taken the lead.
In Game 2, Tony Gwynn's magical bat delivers the go-ahead single in the 8th inning. That same sweet swing delivers a 7th batting title with a .353 average and puts the Padres 1 game away from the National League Western Division Championship.
Base hit. There's 1 run coming in. Here comes Vaughn. The throw by Hollingsworth is not in time. 4-2 San Diego.
So, like baseball is supposed to be, how we remembered it as children, it all comes down to 1 game to decide the NL West. Not since 1908 have 2 teams faced each other to decide a National League title on the final day of the season. Throughout the series, the Padres get superb pitching from the starters and the bullpen. But on the last day, the pitching hero is an unlikely one. Bob Tewksbury, who was banished to the bullpen, starts and throws 7 scoreless innings. Young reliever Dario Veras fires 3 more scoreless innings, setting the stage for an 11th hour, 11th inning victory. On this day, the last day of the regular season, the most familiar of names comes through with the biggest hit. A man named Gwynn, not Tony, Chris. A season of frustration for Chris Gwynn melts away with one swing. The Padres prove that chemistry overcomes adversity.
That's it. Base hit. Big base hit. Here's one run coming in. Here's another run coming in. Padres 2. Dodgers nothing.
Trevor Hoffman then comes on to nail down his 3rd save in 3 days, 42nd of the season. Here's the call by Jerry Coleman.
And this time he did strike him out, man. You can hang a star on the entire season. Ha-ha, doctor.
The Padres have won the National League West Championship. Here they come out of the dugout, all over Trevor Hoffman and Brian Johnson. They've waited since 1984, and on strike 3 to Jack Curtis, the Padres are the champions of the National League West.
Yes, it's only a slogan, and yes, it's only a game, but sometimes, if you really believe, it can be much more than that. The Padres win the National League West. Bigger dreams come to an end when the Cardinals sweep the Padres in a tightly contested 3-game playoff. But in the end, that loss is really just another test of faith. The 1996 Padres proved themselves to be a team so resilient, so special, that everyone knows this is just the beginning.
Do you believe in the Padres? Will you keep the faith?
Diego band was in all of them. In fact, they're right here with me now. You can hear them tuning up in the background, and they've agreed to perform on this tape. Right, guys? Right, guys? Well, anyway, before we get started recording together, why don't we all loosen up by doing the Caminetti together? That would be great, wouldn't it? Would you guys like that? Oh, well, why don't I just go ahead and play it? You guys can join in whenever you want. This one, Rabbi Caminetti. Man, that's when you can hang a star on. It's going in, goal! Grand slam, Ken Caminetti. Need a hero called on Caminetti. You can bet the man is always ready. Grand slamming, he's jamming. You can always count on Caminetti. From the left side, from the right side. Either way, his hitting has a bright side. Hey, there's a man that we know, Caminetti. He can dive, he can slide, and he's piling up the ribbies. The MVP playing here in our city. Hey, Caminetti. Hey, there's a man that we know, Caminetti. Hits a home run and it sure looks pretty. Plays when he's hurt because the man is tough and gritty. Hey, Caminetti. Now don't you worry about the line drives that come his way. You know the man dives, won't let them get by him. And at the plate, you know they won't deny him.
Caminetti to his left. Oh, a great stop in between hops. Joyner grabs down in the bag and got him. What a great play by Ken Caminetti. Terrific play by Caminetti.
Put him on third. Hey, the man is like a magnet. Hit a line drive and the man is gonna grab it. Try to steal third, better watch out 'cause he'll tag ya. Hey, Caminetti. Hey, there's a man that we know, Caminetti. He can dive, he can slide, he can drive in the ribbies. The MVP playing here in our city. Hey, Caminetti. This was a year to be a Padres fan. It was the best of times. And though the party ended early, the memories etched in our minds. Though we won't forget how far we've come, they gave us quite a show. And if we build upon this season, who knows how far we'll go. Padres, thank you. We had a really great year. Padres, thank you. You know it's perfectly clear, yeah, that we're beginning a tradition. We've only just begun, and if we keep on doing what we're doing, we're gonna be number one. This was the year to be a Padres fan. Caminetti and Gwynn. This was the year to be a Padres fan. Trevor Hoffman family. We appreciate you neighbors, you are our friends. It was nice to have a major league team at our stadium again. Padres, thank you. We had a really great year. Padres, thank you. You made it perfectly clear, yeah, that we're beginning a tradition. We've only just begun. And if we keep on doing what we're doing, we're gonna be number one. Yeah. Padres, thank you. Padres, thank you. Padres, thank you. Padres, thank you. You put Ricky in, you pull Ricky out. You throw in Caminetti and you hope the game's a rout. You do the bochi and you turn the game around. That's what it's all about. You put Jody in, you pull Arky out. You put Joey in and then you hope the game's a rout. You do the bochi and no one complains or pouts. That's what it's all about. You call Trevor in, it's time to get the save. The umpy calls a strike, a ball, you stomp your rant and rave. You do the bochi yell until you get your way. That's what it's all about. You put Bachler in, Tewksbury, Blair. Fernando may be 60, but the guy can pitch, who cares? You do the bochi, everybody does their share. That's what it's all about. You let Flaherty swing, the ball is gone, cha-ching. Vaughn gets on, it's gone, next time that Finley does his thing. You do the bochi, Brucey Woosie is the king. That's what it's all about. You leave Wally in, just like Tony Gwynn. You don't mess around with Cam, you always plan to leave him in. You do the bochi right, and you should always win. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. You know, with so many players and the limited amount of time available on this tape, it would really be impossible to pay tribute to each individual player with a song as much as we'd like to. We did, however, feel that there would be space on this album to honor one humble hero, a man who was traded to our team mid-season and has, in his own quiet way, contributed greatly to the success of this ball club. And so it's with great pride and respect that we sing this song, which just so happens to conform with the time restraints we find ourselves under. So without further ado, a musical tribute for one top-notch shortstop and human being, none other than Chris Gomez. Go! Gomez! Hey, that was a little bit too long. Could we try that again? Down in Southern California, San Diego way, there is a stadium where the Padres play. Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're doing so fine. I think we're gonna make it all the way this time. Every Padre fan in San Diego cheer. 1997 just might be our year. Let's go. Go, Padres, go, let's go. Go, San Diego, go. Gonna go all the way, just like we did in L.A. Padres be good. Well, we had a really good time back in 84, but that's about 12 years ago. How about one more? Well, wouldn't it be nice? Wouldn't it feel good? I know that we can do it, Coach, he said we could. If everything goes well, who knows where this might lead? A champion baseball team is what our city needs. Let's go. Go, Padres, go, let's go. Go, San Diego, go. Gonna go all the way, just like we did up in L.A. Padres be good. So come on, everybody, let's go to the Murph. Put on your Padre caps, your Padre pants and shirts. Yeah, we're gonna have a party, gonna celebrate every time we see a Padre run across the plate. And maybe when it's over, we can say hooray. The champions of 97 are Padres. Let's go. Go, Padres, go, let's go. Come on, San Diego, go. Gonna go all the way, like we did in L.A. Padres be good. Oh, yeah. You be the man if you can hit it at the park, then nobody can.
Remember when Wally broke his finger and he was out for so long? Man, that guy carried our team the first half of the season, and he was a big reason we won the West.
Wow! Good golly, it's Wally. He sure can play ball. A good golly, it's Wally. Hits that ball over the wall. Well, he's rocking and he's rolling, playing Wally Wally ball. Well, the man can play, but he's hurt. Yeah, the man can play in pain. Yeah, the man can really use the two-barrel game. Good golly, it's Wally. That man sure is ball. Yeah, he's rocking and he's rolling. Wally, Wally, Wally ball. Well, you can see his head is shining, gleaming in the sunlight. He said, I don't need no roll game. My head looks alright. Good golly, it's Wally. He sure can play ball. Yeah, he's rocking and he's rolling. Wally, 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 Wall. Woo! He got a twinkle in his eye, got a twinkle on his head. And when he sets his mind to hit, well, the pitcher said, good golly, it's Wally. That man can play ball. He's a rocking and he's rolling. Wally, 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 Wally.
Hey, it's Wally. Now, wait a minute, it's the B. Then there was that famous game in Mexico where Caminetti led the team in runs in more ways than one, not to mention setting a major league record for most Snickers consumed by a player in a single game. And of course, Fernando returned to his homeland and pitched like the true champion he is. South of the border, you don't drink the water. The Padres, they went down to old Monterey. Young boys, they cheered, oh, Fernando, their hero. They traveled far to see Fernando play. It was a fun one, they watched the rotund one as his two eyeballs rolled back in his head. If just one rolls back and one stays in place, that will be the day that Fernando is dead, but he's not dead. In fact, he's alive, and that night he arrived in the city of old Monterey, Mexico. They said, good to see ya, now have a tortilla, machaca, and 6 bean and cheese burritos. His pants, they grew tighter, but he's such a fighter. Would be nice to be lighter, but hey, that's okay. When you're a legend and your tummy's stretching, nobody cares if you're muy grande, he can play. Hey, so here's to Fernando, expanding waistbando. We know that you can throw, we know you can win. He don't care about his weight when he's up at the plate, but when he's on La Playa, the man sucks it in. He tucks 3 burritos inside of his Speedo and snacks while he tans. He's an amazing man. He vows that this noche will be good for Boche. Stopping the Mets in their tracks was his plan. Oh, Fernando, good luck, mi hermano. After El Baño, lave sus manos. You know the rules. My Espanol broken has now all been spoken, and that's why this song goes so longo is through. Fernando, when I think of you, I think of Corinthian leather. Tu casa es tu poquito, or your big cito. There are lots of Padres deserving of songs. Of course, Mr. Padres himself, Tony Gwynn, should have an entire musical written just for him. With 7 batting titles, it's the least he deserves. And so, Tony, if you happen to hear this tape, your song will be completed someday soon. But for now, here's another song for our MVP, Ken Caminiti. Missiles flying through the air. Look at the plate and Kenny's there. From left or right, he doesn't care. He'll hit them either way. He stands there waiting, bat in hand. He won't be walked, he won't be fanned. He wants to hit one in the stands, and lots of times he does. He's hit home runs from both sides now, from left and right, wham, bam, cam, pow. He's a one-man wrecking crew, that man. He's the wham, bam, thank you, Cammy, grand slammy man. He guards the line, at third he waits. The hitters see him salivate. He's like a vacuum, he can't wait for the ball to come his way. The bat cracks and it's in the air. He dives like Superman, he's there. He pulls his groin and he don't care. He's a rough, tough, cammy dude. He dives for balls on both sides now, digs from the dirt back up somehow. He makes the throw on his backside. He's the stab, grab, wham, bam, cammy, grand slammy guy. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, you were supposed to lose. Yeah. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, didn't you hear the news? You came into town, you only needed one win. Any team could have done that, so wipe off that dumb grin. La Russa got no use for your team being our town. You're eating in our restaurants, taking our women out, don't you come back round. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, you were supposed to lose. Yeah. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, didn't you hear the news? Yeah. Well, we could have easily won if we'd scored 3 more times, and we could have done it if we'd want to do, but we declined. We were feeling generous on a Saturday night. I'd have to say I think we might have been a little too polite. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, you were supposed to lose. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, didn't you hear the news? Next year we're gonna get him back each time we play. If that influences St. Louis next year, that's okay. Cause we've got a score to settle, there's just one thing left to do. No, I'm beating around the Busch Stadium in St. Louis, next year we'll beat you. St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, you were supposed to lose. Lose, oh no, St. Louis, Huey, oh baby, didn't you hear the news? Yeah, Louis, Huey, woo, I'm thanks. Something on my shoe here. Kinda gooey. Ooh, yeah. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the comeback of the Pods. Wheel the hearse away, this team is still above the sod. We're gonna start the wins next year, we're beating all the odds. Our Padres shall return. Glory days are just beginning. Let's go Padres, keep on winning. Chris and Tony keep on winning. Our Padres shall return. We've proven we know how to win. We did it in LA. Our backs against the wall. Cammy says we like it that way. It's giving me an ulcer and my hair is turning gray. But my Padres shall return. Glory days are just beginning. Let's go, Padres, keep on winning. Chris and Tony keep on winning. Our Padres shall return. Anyway, that about wraps it up. We hope you enjoyed this tape, and we'll see you next year down at the Murph. Go Padres!